Hello and welcome back to Webcast News. I'm jumping straight into the news today. Firstly, starting with news linked with the National Television Awards, or the NTAs, that happened on Wednesday night. Now, as I said, this is only linked, and it actually goes back to the This Morning show, hosted by Phillip, Schofield and Holly Willoughby, because the Thursday morning edition of it was a little bit different. The This Morning show won the Live Magazine Show Award at the NTAs on Wednesday night, and then Phillip Schofield and Holly Willoughby went out and had a few too many drinks, and they then had to present the This Morning show on Thursday morning. Now, what made for the entertainment of this show was that they showed up in the same clothes they had worn at the Wednesday night ceremony, and Holly Willoughby admitting that neither of them had actually been home and they had come straight from a house party to work, which is never a good idea. And it was pretty obvious that they were both completely hungover. So the show kind of disintegrated into laughing at a lot of things and sleeping on a sofa. So, you know, sounds like a normal hangover, it's just that this one happened to be on live television. Credit to them though for actually even showing up to work. A lot of people wouldn't even do that. But if you are of age, leave in the comment section down below your worst hangover experience. Maybe something that happened during a hangover, or if you had to go into work or uni or college with a bad hangover. Leave those stories in the comment section down below, because we could all do with a bit of a laugh. Now moving on, it gets a bit more depressing again because, you know, the news. And it goes into one of the he said, she said stories again, where there's one side to a story, there's another side to a story, and someone has to try and figure out what the heck's going on. Now, this goes back to December 2012, when the mother of a 13-month-old Poppi Worthington put her daughter to bed in a perfect, fine condition, perfect health, nothing wrong with her. And when they woke in the morning, the father carried her down the stairs, lifeless, with what a High Court judge called troubling injuries. You then skip on just over 3 years to a few days ago, where 48-year-old Paul Worthington, the father who carried his daughter down the stairs lifeless, has been publicly identified as sexually assaulting his daughter shortly before her death. And when they say shortly, it's in the few hours that she was in bed for, between being perfectly healthy in the night and not waking up the next morning, which is a horrific thought. Now, the public identification from the High Court judge comes on a balance of probabilities. So they couldn't actually take this to court and send him to jail for any length of time because the evidence wouldn't hold up and he would just be let free anyway. But with the public identification have come death threats sent to Mr. Worthington. And currently, Paul Worthington currently maintains that he is innocent and that he did nothing of the sort. However, Paul's sister Tracy then spoke to The Guardian regarding these stories and threw out quite a big point about why you actually couldn't go after him if you wanted to. She told the Guardian paper, "He has had to leave the country because of all of this. People keep knocking on my door and asking where he is, thinking he's going to be wandering around my estate, but he is not here. He left the country on Tuesday. He is hundreds of miles away." However, now after all of this, the Crown Prosecution Service are now actually going to begin re-examining all of the evidence, but an inquest into this could take a few months, so there's not going to be any update on this story for quite a while. And then moving away from that story and moving on to the world of sport, where both stories in here aren't that great, to be honest. Firstly is a story that happened on Sunday in a women's Primera Division football match in Spain. And this involves referee, I'm going to butcher his name, Santiago Quijeda Alcon. I think that's close enough. And his actions during a match because he asked out one of the players. he asked them on a date during the match. And the player in question was 31-year-old Elena Pavel. According to Miss Pavel, the referee approached her during the match and said to her, "Hey brown hair, let's get coffee this afternoon." Firstly, calling her brown hair probably isn't a great start. You know, her name would probably be better. So that may not have been one of the best chat-up lines you are ever going to hear. But her response is probably one of the better responses you're going to hear. Because she told him, "Better stick to blowing your whistle." And I so hope that that was an intentional innuendo, because it could completely be. I mean, Flow Rider used it as an innuendo, so why can't everyone else? But going back to the bad side of this comes just a few weeks after West Indian cricketer Chris Gale was forced to apologise to a reporter after he asked her out on live television while she was interviewing him during a Big Bash Australian T20 cricket match. And what I want to ask you as a viewer is this proof of sexism in sport, or is this just two cases in a huge world of sport? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. And then there is more news on the new media magnate in the UFC, Irishman Conor McGregor, because it was Ronda Rousey until she got her head kicked in by Holly Holm. But we've moved on to Conor McGregor now. And this bit of news comes from a press conference that was for him and his Brazilian opponent Rafael dos Anjos, with that fight scheduled for March 5th. McGregor, in a previous statement, decided to start talking about Jesus. There's a curse word in there, so I won't actually say what he said or show what he said, but in basic terms it ended with, "I could beat up Jesus," which is not a good thing to say, really, in front of religious people. However, in a roundabout way of apologising for what he said, and the main bit of why I wanted to make this a news-covered story, is because of what he said afterwards, again in a seemingly slightly apologetic way, but in a way only Conor McGregor could actually apologise. He decided to say, "Me and Jesus are cool. I'm cool with all the gods. Gods recognise gods." Now, firstly, I'm pretty sure Jesus isn't a god. God is God. So you're already wrong there. And also, it's a really weird thing to say overall. I'm not a religious person, so, you know, none of this offends me in any sort of way. But if you are a religious person, does this offend you? I mean, let me know in the comment section down below. And then finally, because a lot of news revolves around celebrities, I thought I would break a few hearts for people who have a thing for either Jennifer Lawrence or Chris Evans, because it's now being reported that they have started dating, with Amy Schumer, the comedian, actually bringing them together. Now, normally I wouldn't cover this kind of story because, you know, whoop-de-doo, two people are now dating. Great. I don't care how famous they are, you know, it's just them beginning dating. That's wonderful, great, let's move on. But it's what an insider source says about it that brought my attention to this. Because the insider source says they've only gone on 2 dates so far, but they have been texting each other and talking on the phone. Okay, that's the rather boring bit. But it's the second bit that catches your attention, where it says, they even had a pizza and movie date at Jen's place. One, obviously they really are friends with Jennifer Lawrence because they can call her Jen. Two, that just sounds like Netflix and chill, right? Am I the only one whose brain went straight to that kind of idea once that sentence was read or said? Because it just sounds like Netflix and chill. But then again, that just may be me being inappropriate. So without further ado, that is it for today's video. If you have liked the video, make sure you go and hit that like button, and also hit the share button as well if you think others would enjoy this video. Make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button as well if you want to see more news style videos on this channel, because I will keep bringing them out. Even with going back to university, I will hopefully be bringing them out as much as possible. So do hit that subscribe button, and as always, thanks for watching.